Hey, welcome back to the Lion's Den. I'm Chris Moore, and today we're tackling the single hardest question for any Christian executive: the guilt of ambition. How much money is enough? Here's the challenge. You have a healthy, God-given desire to succeed. You've worked hard, you've hit your profit goals, your company is growing, you should feel joy, but instead, you're sitting there in church and maybe you feel a little guilty. Why? Because the marketplace voice shouts, never stop growing, more is better. But the quiet strength of faith whispers about humility, simplicity, the camel going through the eye of the needle, the widow's mite. We live in this constant tension. Is the ambition I feel the lion's drive to multiply, or is it the enemy's trap of greed? We need a clear biblical answer on how to pursue prosperity without compromising our purpose. So let's find the lion's edge in God's word. Our scripture today is one of the most misunderstood verses in the Bible. It comes from 1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 10. Paul writes, "For the love of money is a root of all kinds of evil. Some people, eager for money, have wandered from the faith and pierced themselves with many griefs." Now, I know there's lots of translations. People read this differently, but this is what the verse means. Notice the key distinction right there in the text. Paul does not say that money is the root of all evil. Money's a tool. What he does say is the love of money is the root. Money itself is immoral. It's just a tool. It's just a resource. It's a scoreboard for created value. It's something we use to make exchange much easier than the way we used to barter. God created this world of abundance for us. And one of the things that he teaches is that he wants his stewards to manage the prosperity that he's given us, prosperity that's all around us. Ambition to grow is healthy. We all want to do that. It's what we put our ambition into. It's a sign of a good manager who's seeking to maximize the assets, the talents that God has provided to us. So let's look at our framework and define the boundaries of healthy ambition. Number one, what does this say about God? Well, first, it clarifies it's his ownership. God is the owner of the universe. The Psalm says he owns the cattle on 1,000 hills. He's the ultimate creator of all wealth, whether it's money or assets or property. When we have a desire to make money, we are just kind of reflecting God's nature as the great provider. He trusts us with our resources. Our job isn't to apologize for the wealth we create. It's to remember it all belongs to him. But our focus should be focused on increasing the resources available for the owner's purpose. Let's face it, majority of people that I've met, even those that are totally consumed with greed, didn't start with greed. It started with looking for provision. What ended up happening was that they looked at that provision from something else other than from God. So what does this say about us and God's purpose? Our purpose on this planet or the next is not to consume. It's not about consumption. It's about multiplication and impact. The problem with wealth, money in general, is not the amount that we make. It's where is the source of our security and our joy. The moment you start looking at your investment portfolio, your bank account, instead of your faith for security, then you're already in the danger zone. When we view what we have strictly as a resource for consumption, we want a bigger house or fancier cars to show off, that's when we're falling in a trap. When you view it as a resource for multiplication, where we think about, I want to grow this business so I can create more jobs, I can fund more ministries, I can give generously, then it's just a tool. You must define a purpose for your wealth, for your income, for the talents that God has given you that is bigger than just your needs, your wants, your desires. So how should this fuel us, the leader? Well, one, this should free you from the guilt of ambition. That doesn't mean that other people aren't going to put that on you, but the metric for too much is not a dollar amount. It's actually an internal spiritual shift. When does the pursuit of money cause you to be dishonest? Integrity? When does it make you anxious? Security? When does the money start driving you instead of you driving the money? The leader should be fueled by the Lamb's humility, which accepts that true satisfaction comes from purpose, not from possessions, from focusing on the impact, not on the consumption. That humility gives the lions courage to walk away from a deal that might be profitable, might make us a lot of money, but is spiritually compromising or taking us away from the things that God would have us. If it's taking you away from your family, from your spouse, from relationships, from your walk with God, you definitely need to turn aside from that and make sure that your focus stays on Him and His purpose for you. The truth is, the line between healthy ambition and the love of money, it's subtle. It's easy to cross the line when you're making decisions alone in the middle of the night. What you need is accountability to a purpose higher than your profit. Most of us, we don't have that. This is exactly why I designed the Lion Leader Mastermind. It's not about business coaching. It's about your personal and spiritual integrity. Get a weekly accountability partner who makes sure your money is serving your mission, not the other way around. We're going to get clear on your goals. And then every Friday, I'm going to send you 4 simple questions. I personally review each one every single week, checking in on your boundaries, your clarity, your purpose, and make sure that the wrong things, the wrong directions aren't quietly taking root. If you need that consistent Christ-centered check-in to ensure your ambition is always driving impact, not just accumulation, go to lionleader.com/mastermind to learn more about the mastermind. Let's close this out with a final practical step to take the guilt that we may be having out of ambition. The core truth is ambition is healthy when it's driven by purpose, not profit. When we think about ambition, if our children are trying to get the best degree, the best grades, we don't look at that as bad. Ambition put into the right things at the right time, always good for us. So what should we do? Well, one, we need to define a target and enough number. This isn't a retirement target. It's the number that represents security and freedom for your family, your future, and what God has for you. Sit down, define that number. And here's the spiritual commitment. Everything you earn after that number is strictly for impact and for giving. By doing this, you transform the pursuit of profit into a mission statement. You use the lion's ambition not for consumption, but for multiplication of God's kingdom. This is how you lead with a clear conscience. I've talked about this with some very high net worth individuals over the past several years who have shared with me this concept that came out of their own struggle. With this discussion, I've seen them make massive changes in ministries all over the world and the impact that they have beyond just a business, a house, a car, but in lives. And by doing this, this is how you begin to lead with a clear conscience. This humility, this clear line is what frees you from chasing growth for growth's sake to chasing growth for what God would have you to do with it. If this devotional gave you the clarity to lead with boldness and humility today, please share this episode with one leader, with one executive you know who may be grappling with this idea of guilt and ambition and I can't have one without the other. Subscribe and join me next time for the Lions 10. Until then, lead with faith. I'll see you next time.